Hey guys, it's Monday and we are live. I literally went to the group and then I went straight to the group and then right after I went to the group, I went somewhere else on my phone. And I got like, y'all, if you can see behind the scenes, I got like so many things going on. I got like a Mac Pro, a Dell, and a bigger screen. There's a whole bunch of contractual technology going on around here. Anyways, welcome to Monday. It's your girl Sherry Summer Bell. I'm just testing my thought. You like to test to make okay, good. I like to test it to make sure that I can hear myself and everything is good. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hey, so it's Monday. If you're new to our group, every Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, I go live with a free training for our group for insurance agents and financial pro. So this Monday at 7 p.m. we go live. And this is my way of helping you build your business, build your community, build your credibility in your cash flow. So welcome, 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 welcome. And another thing that I like to do, I like for you to go in the chat. Hey, Shalonda, how you been? I like for you to go in the chat, tell us who you are, tell us what you do. I like for you to go in the chat. So in case somebody's looking for your services, they can reach out to you because you never know who's watching. So as we get started, it's not just about me. I love interaction. You already know that if you're around these internet streets and you come here. So go ahead in the comments and tell us who you are. Tell us what you do. While you do that, so good evening to everyone. While you're doing that, if you're tuning in from Instagram or if you're tuning in from YouTube or my business page, welcome to hop on over to joinsherry.com and make sure that you come inside of our group because it goes down in the group. Anything about what's going on, the group knows about it. Speaking of what's going on, I'm excited because you guys are continuously signing up for your Unleashing Your Inner CEO. That is our live in-person conference where you can meet me and my VIPs, my 6 and 7 figure insurance agents, financial professional in Orlando, July 15th. That is still going on. I'm so excited about that. Can you believe today's May 1st? Like, that's how fast things are happening around here. Like, literally how fast. So do not wait. This is not something that you wait on. I already told you we had 20 tickets went like that. Went like that. Do not wait because one agent will call another agent like, hey, we need to go. We need to go. And it just become a whole thing. So that's how fast our ticket sales are going. And we are limited to the space of 60 people. That's how limited we are. So do not wait. I want to see you in Orlando, July 15th for Unleashing Your Inner CEO. This is about helping you learn the practical and spiritual strategy to build your business to 6 and 7 figures. I have some amazing speakers that are lined up to come to talk to you about ChatGTP, business and ministry. What is the inner CEO? How do you generate lead consistently, organically, without having to buy it to a third-party vendor? I have people who have already been super successful in their space and they're coming already. I have people who are number one on their lead board in their insurance agency. I have people who are tax professionals who are going to be joining us. I have real estate investors. Oh my gosh, it's just so much. So make sure you go to unleashyourinnerceo.com. That's amazing. We got VIP access as well Friday and Saturday. I'm telling you, it's going down. So do not wait to get your tickets. All right. So if you're just coming in, go ahead and tell us who you are. Tell us what you do. Welcome to our side of heaven on earth. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Tell us who you are. South Florida in the house. Yes, I love it. I love it. I'm in the Orlando, by the Orlando area. So I love when I find somebody who's also close to my area. So come on in, come on in. All right. So today, now that all that is out the way, again, remember I said, don't wait to get your ticket for Unleash Your Inner CEO. It is going down. All right. She said, hey, dog, get it together. I love it. I love it. Okay. All right. So I'm going to talk about tonight, if you got your email from me, which if you're not on my email list, why? Like why? We're going to be talking about identifying the 3 elements that give you a unique advantage as a financial professional. Like literally, that's what we're talking about. Identify unique advantage. I just got my MacBook Pro. I'm still trying to learn how to use all this stuff because I was a Dell lover and now I just got my MacBook. So we are moving on. We're moving jumping on and learning all of that good stuff. I'm learning how to use all the technology stuff that's presented to me. But all right, let's get to it. Let's get to it. The reason I wanted you to learn how to identify your unique advantage, your competitive advantage, is because when you have a competitive edge over another person who does exactly what you do, you're stand out more. Another thing is you have what we call the it factor. When you know what your it factor is, what makes you different, that thing that makes you different, that competitive edge, that unique advantage, oh my goodness, it's a game changer, because people will come to you. They will consistently come to you because you know your stuff, because you do something. It's not about just the product that you sell. So we're going to talk about some ways, identify 3 elements that gives you a unique advantage as a financial professional. Y'all ready? Put ready in the chat if you're ready to go, because I'm ready to dive all the way in. You know, we don't play around up here. We get straight to the goods. If this is your first time catching me live, it's your girl, Sherry Summer-Bell. I am the founder of the group for insurance agents and financial pro. All right. When we talk about competitive advantage, ready? I love y'all. Y'all be ready to go. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Raina, how you doing, gorgeous Miss Cutter? One of the things I want to talk about, just as I said, the group for insurance agents and financial pros. That's a competitive advantage right there, right? The group is specifically for women who are in finance, period, right? That's an example of a competitive advantage. You really need to know this. You need to discover this, because discovering this make you understand why your business is set up different from other people in your industry. Discovering it, knowing exactly what it is, and also being able to articulate it inside of your marketing, inside of your messaging, is powerful. It's super powerful. All right. So when we talk about competitive advantage, one of the things when I decided to create this space, like I'm giving an example. I'm in this space where I'm a Black female immigrant that teach women who are in the financial space, insurance space, how to create the credibility, how to create the community, how to create the cash flow. And I do that in that space where that's my competitive advantage. Like there's no one in that space that's teaching that, right? In that, no one that look like me that's teaching you that outside of buying leads, door knocking, and all the stuff, and do it in a way that's conducive to your schedule. I really want you to grab a Diva notebook and your diamond pen. If you haven't already, go ahead and grab right now. Put yes in the chat if you're ready to go. Just want to make sure you have your notepad, your notebook. So one of y'all told me that you have a Sherry Summers University book. so I love it. So get yes in the chat if you already got your notebook ready to go. If you're driving, don't grab the notebook. You can catch the replay. Do not grab the notebook. So I really wanted to, when you know what that looks like, when you know what your competitive advantage look like, the good news about that is that when you don't know, you lack the differentiation, right? If you don't know what sets you apart from your financial professional, it's difficult to stand out. It can make it even hard to attract new clients. And also another thing, that when you don't know, you have ineffective branding and ineffective marketing. That means when you market your business, you sound like everybody else. Right? You use scare tactics to get people. Your messaging is not compelling. Your personal brand is not compelling, right? So your potential client can't establish trust and credibility with you because your messaging is not like them. It's like everyone around you. It's like when your upline or your insurance coach tells you, or your tax coach tells you to DM 50 people with the same exact message. And you're like, what? Like, did you just copy and paste this? That's not a competitive advantage. That's not a unique advantage, because you're doing the same thing to somebody else. And therefore, when you don't know what your competitive advantage is, then you limit your growth for potential. Limiting your growth for potential, you're not taking advantage of your unique strength and capabilities, because your competitive advantage is something that you have. It's an it factor. It's something like, I had one of my clients, she said, Sherry, I was coaching with another agent, and she just didn't resonate with me. When I speak, she didn't understand. She just didn't resonate with me. And I feel like I just need to come here. I need to come back here because you resonate with me, right? So it's an it factor. Tell me if you understand. What's your it factor? What is that for you? What is other people are telling you? Sometimes for yourself, it's hard to find out. But what are other people? Put in the chat right now. What are other people saying about you? Are you compassionate? Are you a good listener? Do you care? Right? Do you go above and beyond? I think I told y'all the story about a lady that she was saying something was wrong with her insurance, and I got on the phone with her and the insurance company, fixed the issue, and then when she was done, she's like, "Oh my gosh, Sherry, I just realized the insurance policy was not with you; it was with another agent." And I'm like, "That's okay, I got you." You know, had nothing. I wasn't getting a commission or anything. But the point, that's the it factor. That's the fact that I went above and beyond even where there was no commission involved. That's an example of what I'm talking about. Is those are our unique advantage. Somebody said you're dependable. You put it all. I love that. You're dependable. That's also, we need that in this space. We need that. So give me some more. Tell me about what is the it factor for you. I want to hear some more. What are other people saying about you and caring and personality? I like that. What's the it factor that somebody has been saying about you and talking about you? Because all of those things, like all of those things where people used to say, "Girl, you." I remember people used to say, "Oh, the things that you think is an issue, like my accent, right? Like my grammar, like my me from another country, and my energy, all of that is unique advantage. All of that is your unique style. So don't look at, come on. All of that, things that you find like flaws, are your it factor. They're not flaws, they're your it factor, right? All of those things where you're like, oh my gosh, I don't like my way my hair look, or I don't like the weight that I'm wearing. I don't like, I have an accent. I'm scared. New York. I'm from, and people want to say I'm from New Orleans, or I can't do New Orleans, y'all. Sorry, my bad. Can't do it. So, baby, okay, that's all I got. So I'm from whatever it may be, whatever that's all. You can use that to your advantage. You can use that to your advantage because that's something somebody can't copy. You can use that to your advantage because that's something somebody. So what you're looking at is, oh my gosh, I have these flaws, but I'm trying to tell you to turn your flaws into gifts, right? Because that's your unique advantage. Like people will come to me and says, "Hey, I wrote a policy with you because you're from the islands and I'm from the islands," right? So all the things that you're just so confident in your accent and you're so confident in the things that you do. So you're thinking, if you in your head, oh my gosh, nobody's gonna say yes to me because whatever negative things that you're feeling that is holding you back. I'm telling you, that is the thing. That is the it factor, right? Whatever that thing is, I remember I was doing a video. Y'all know I used to help ex-offenders start their businesses when they're released from jail to start a reentry program. Short version, y'all go to itsherry.com. I got my whole website on there, my whole about me page on there if you're new to this space. So I was having a conference. Yes, listen what I just said. When I was a cop, I decided to have a conference. When I was a corporal with the sheriff's office, I wanted to have a conference to inform my local community departments of all the different things that was happening at in the jail, because I was working inside of the jail in the jail system. And sometimes they don't know what goes on. Like they don't know we were giving people their GED. They don't know we were helping them with their businesses. They didn't know that they were getting like plumbing. They didn't know that there's a lot of stuff that goes on. They don't know that how the jail is set up. They literally can fund their own business because they make their own uniforms and all sorts of stuff. So the only way for people to know is for me to go out there, create a conference where I can get speakers and people who know this information to spread it, right? Because the jail will always look like a negative light, but it's a bomb.com. It's like the best kept secret. Okay. So when I was doing that, I remember trying to record a video to speak about the different departments that the reentry program and our inmate programs that we offer at the jail. And let me tell you something. I went ahead, did my speech, and when it's time for the conference, the lady who recorded my speech, she hit play, and I was the one speaking. I was not the one speaking. She recorded my speech to a female who was not my race and had her speaking, because I guess she felt like my accent was going to be challenging for the people in the audience to hear. Okay. Thank you, Queen. Well, okay. All right. So imagine me, how that made me feel when, number one, no one warned me. No one gave me a warning. I'm just hitting, she's hitting play, and the video is going, and it's not my voice, because someone who, not my race, felt the need that my accent was not good enough to do this video, to record, even though the program was my program. I was in charge of the program. She recorded my voice onto that program. So y'all shaking my head. Girl, I'm over here shaking my head too. So it would have been respectful if she had told me even ahead of time, but she did not, because in her mind, she don't want the department to look bad, right? In her mind, that means my accent affect her in some way, right? So she made a decision to record it, and I was heated. So for a long time, I could have held that like, I'm not going to go live because I have an accent and my pronunciation is not the best. My grammar is horrible. I could have used all of those excuses in my head, because that's what your thoughts are trying to tell you. That's a story that I created in my head, right? And I was so like shocked. I think I was in shock mode than anything else. Like, I can't help that I was born in another country, right? I can't help. Was I bad officer, or what did I do wrong? And then why had me sit there for 2 hours and record something that you knew you were gonna record over, right? That you just knew. And it's so crazy right now, because when people book me or pay me to speak on their stage, this is why this is so powerful for me, because literally I just booked to fly to Texas, to Dallas, to speak at another event, and today, and I'm like, what? It's just, I'm still in awe today, because the very thing, I hope this is helping somebody. Put me in the chat if it's helping you. The very thing that was working against me is now working for me, right? It's now working for me. So there's some adversities that I had to get over because I was different. Right? So someone said, tell a lot about how she viewed people that is not like her. Exactly. So number one, I don't miss the part though, because y'all missing the part where I said I was hosting a conference. And I'm saying that to you is because that was my job as in the sheriff's office. That was my job. I host a conference. But here's the thing. I was doing the work and didn't know that later on I will be doing the same work, but for myself. I was doing the work for somebody else that I didn't know that I would be able to do the work. So now here I am hosting my own conferences, right? That when I was working a 9 to 5 was, but I didn't know that God was setting me up. Okay, I hope y'all don't miss that. Okay, moving on. But that's a whole nother ceremony. But so all of those things that back then we would say, girl, don't open your mouth, don't talk, don't this. All of those things is what makes me my money now. It's one of my revenue streams is public speaking and hosting and all this stuff. Those same things that this woman it wasn't good enough for her, right? Those same things are now my unique advantage. I told you I had to share that story with you, because I know your family members and people around you have said some things, some stories to you. And those stories, even though they said it 5, 6, 7 years ago, it is still resonating with you and stopping you from showing up and showing out your it factor. Does that make sense? Put yes in the chat. That makes sense? So I had to tell you my stories and some things I had to overcome. And then whenever I see somebody on Instagram, Facebook, or in person that has those adversities and they're speaking out, and I was at the gym this morning and there's this gentleman, he lost both feet and he lost one of his arms, and he had two artificial legs, and he was just there working out. And I'm like, man, I'm so impressed with him. I'm just so impressed with him and those things. I'm like, man, like I gotta come to the gym every day, because if he can come and I see him often at the gym, that motivate me to come, right? That motivate me to come. Had I allowed that situation to stop me from showing up, had I allowed my accent and this and that to stop me from showing up, the clients that I have that are successful, that I was called to serve, that whether I'm writing a policy or whether I'm coaching an agent or financial professional, they would not be. Not saying they would not be because of me, but I'm just saying they would not be assigned to me, because they're people. I say all the time, there are people assigned to you. But when you don't recognize your it factor, when you don't understand your unique advantage, you're doing a disservice to those people, right? And I know that there are times that you're like, oh my gosh, so Sherry, where is that? So I want to share that story with you, because you have some it factor that you may not recognize, because in your journey called life, people have doubt you or down you or said something that make you don't want to pursue or don't want to go forth, or and therefore that has stopped you from really revealing your it factor, because you're afraid that you're going to get that same negativity again, right? So that it factor or that advantage or the competitive advantage is staying dormant, because of some stories from in your past. I really have to show you, I really had to speak on that, and what may have occurred while you're having a hard time identifying the it factor, or why you're also are holding back from revealing what it may be. Give me a yes if it makes sense what I just said to you, so I can move on. All right. Those are just example of some disadvantage or limited things that have stopped you from identifying your it factor. All right. So now that I've got that part out of the way, now that I've got that part of the way, I'm not even worried about that and her. I don't moved on, been successful. I'm not even worried about that situation, but I'm glad I had that story so I can share it with you, so you too cannot allow other people to tell you what you can or cannot do. All right. Okay. So I'm going to give you 3 elements that would give you a unique advantage as a financial professional. 3 elements. So number 1, let's be clear. I want you to really do your homework and write down 5 things that you believe that is your it factor, that make you different. Like 5 things that you believe. Like even when we're creating this conference, it was based on the fact that I've attended so many conferences, but in the financial space, but I didn't see spaces where women of color could get their voices heard, or it will be like three of us in a room. So even that space was very not diverse enough. So that's why I created Unleash Your Inner CEO, right? In the financial space. So that is different. That's what makes this conference so different from everybody else, because you're getting the questions answered from people who understand your journey, who's been through your journey. I was telling my girlfriend and I was having a conversation, and she said to me, which I still stick with me today. She said to me on Sunday, she said, Sherry, we are just now learning about life insurance. Like our parents, our grandparents kind of know about it. They didn't really know what they were getting, but they were trying to get something, and they get some, but they didn't know clear. That's why there's so many grandparents that have life insurance but never tell their kids. That's why the insurance company has $1 billion life insurance money that's held up, because they never told their family members that they had life insurance. So she said, when it comes to especially the Black community, we are just now through social media and social media been around. I went to college in 2000. So social media been around because I know I was on Facebook because it was a lot of people don't know this. I'm giving y'all some gems today. Facebook was just for college students. When Facebook started off, it was just for people in college. You could not get on Facebook unless you had a college email address. So a lot of people don't realize that this social media platform was just for college students, right? That's how it started off first. So I had Facebook and MySpace. Oh my God, I'm showing y'all my age. I had Facebook and MySpace in college when I was getting my bachelor's. So that was in 2000, 2003. So Facebook was not even for the entire public, right? So what I mean by that is how much behind in information our community is because we didn't have technology to push forth the message. Oh my gosh, I'm doing a masterclass just on messaging alone. But anyway, push forth the message so our community can hear it. So I'm talking to my girlfriend who has a communication degree, and she's like, Sherry, we're still learning. We who was not in the insurance space is still learning the power of what insurance can do. We're still learning the no's and the yes and the up and the what truly is life insurance. So we just need space for you guys to keep telling us, oh my God, this is so good. This is so good. So I'm telling you all of this is because that's why communication and going forth and knowing your it factor is so important because we need to learn how to reach the masses. We need to learn how to reach the masses. And another thing is nobody can tell the story or the about the services like you can. Nobody can. Every time someone called me and said, hey, I saw Rockefeller and I saw Candy, and they said that I can put my money in life insurance and I can get back a whole bunch of money. I always got to be the one having to clear up that story. I always have to be the one to clear up that story. Like, okay, but how much are you willing to put in? So it's so important that we share our knowledge because people are still new. And I know you're saying to yourself, nah, insurance has been around for a while. Yes. But there used to be a little old lady on Sunday come knock on your door and ask you if you have life insurance. That was your grandma days. Okay. Insurance has changed so much. So it's up to us to make sure we're delivering that information. All right. Okay. This is good. Good. Let me see it good. I didn't see it good yet. Let me see. Good. All right, moving on. So the three elements that give you that unique advantage as a financial professional, and this is so good because I want you to really to pay attention to this. The three elements that give you that unique advantage as a financial professional. Number one is get resourceful. Let me say it again. Get resourceful. If you're going to hit your first 100K, first 250K, or your first 300K, you got to know how to get resourceful, right? And what I mean by that, your first 100K, right? Your first 6 figures is all about just doing sales and marketing. Not sales and marketing. You wear a lot of hats by yourself when you're first trying to hit that goal. And so you get resourceful means how can I get more resourceful and get more resource and decrease my overhead costs, right? How can I get more resource and decrease my overhead costs? Like what I mean by that, if you don't have a money for social media manager, can you, I just did this the other day. Can you get an app, which I think is called Video AI? I think it's called. Write that down. It's called Video AI, but it's spelled differently. I gotta look it up for y'all. But it's called Video AI, and they'll take your video like this, and they'll chop it up, and then they will do it for Instagram Reel, TikTok, and all this stuff. But they'll take your long form video and kind of chop it up into small videos, and then you just put it on Instagram, put it on TikTok for you. And the reason why that is so effective is instead of hiring a social media manager to do all the stuff that you may not have the finances for, you can just pay the subscription. I think it's like $29.99 a month or something like that for the Video AI, or you get 1 or 2 free videos or something like that. But the point here is this: instead of a social media manager sometimes start from 5 all the way up, 500 all the way up per month. So having that Video AI where you're putting your video and it'll chop it up for you and do all the subscription That's getting resourceful, right? That's saying, okay, I may not have money for a $500 social media person, but do I have the money, $30 a month, to do these videos and get these content out there on Instagram and Facebook, so my face can be seen, so I can become findable. Findable. Y'all know I'm all about the findable part, right? So number one, that's what I mean by getting resourceful. That's what I mean by when you want things to happen, you get resourceful, right? Hey, I may not have the money for this, but what can I do here, right? What can I do here? I just literally in my Joyful Tribe, now they get the gym. And I wanted something that I didn't have, and I reached out to the person. They was like, hey, this is the amount for it. And I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna see what I can do with that. And then the person said, well, hey, I'll need this from you so I can get this. So they need some type of value from me so they can get this. So we exchange value, and that's how powerful, when you know your unique advantage, that it will give you. This thing just saved me $11,500. That's how much I got saved because I had value to give to that person, right? All right, so get resourceful. Make sure you write that down. Hey, Letitia, how you doing? Thanks for joining us. All right, so get resourceful is so important when you're growing your business, because we know consistency is the key. I've said that already. So now you got to figure out, okay, what are the things? What are the technology I can, especially with Chat GTP. I have shout out to Kimberly Fowler. She's coming to our conference and talking about all about Chat GTP. She's a tax professional and she used Chat GTP. She loves it. She utilizes it, and she's going to be sharing with our. Y'all better get y'all a ticket. What y'all waiting on? Y'all better get this ticket. Okay. So she's coming to talk about Chat GTP. So it's one thing to know the thing exists, but there's another thing to know how to use it, right? I know everybody, oh my God, will technology put us out of business? I know tax professionals talking about that, insurance agents talking about that. Will it put out of business? Well, one thing AI cannot do, it can't think. It cannot think for me, right? It cannot think for me. And what I mean by that is I'm more resourceful than any computer you're going to put in front of me, right? I tell the computer what I want to see. I tell the computer what I am the one who has to tell the computer my instructions of what I want, right? The computer's not telling me what I want. I'm telling the computer what. So I'm the one. So there's no reason to have a fear that insurance is going to be automated and they don't need insurance agent anymore. No, because your person who's buying insurance need to know the knowledge of how to choose the right one, right? They need to know what they can't. Nobody want to read. Okay, so you're good there. You're good there. Don't believe the lies. Okay. So be resourceful. That's so important when growing your business, because you're trying to keep it open. That don't mean be cheap. Resourceful is not being cheap. Okay. That's totally different. Totally different, right? Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. Number one. Number two, your ability to niche down. Your ability to niche down. This is so important. I cannot tell you how many insurance agents and financial professionals spend money on courses and is not with companies that are not in this industry. Right. And what I mean by that, you have an amazing coach, but they're not in your industry. They're not in your financial industry. They don't know the legality of your industry. But the information is great, but they're not specifically in your industry. Not saying that's a bad thing, but now you have to figure out, now, how does this information you just told me, how does it apply to my financial industry? And now you gotta get your brain to train to match what you just being told, right? So that's why it's so important to you specialize, because when you specialize, like what I do, my space is for the financial insurance professional. That's my space. I specialize. That same thing with you. You got to specialize in the space that you believe that you dominate, that you believe that you know inside and out. Now, it doesn't mean you got to know the whole book. No, that's not what I'm saying. Do you mean that I got to know 1080 and all these tax codes and all these forms? No. Does it mean that I got to know how term life, final expense, IUL? No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying pick an area that you know well, that you can speak on for your content. Going back to content again, we're going back to messaging again, and that showcase you as the expert in that space, right? So when you're able to niche down, which is why you need to specialize to stop solving everybody's problem. Like stop. The other day, this lady had a problem and she write books, and I knew the answer, but I would rather she get it from a person who coach on books, right? Because that's not my specialty. That's not my strength. So I knew the answer. I knew what she wanted, but think it's best coming from another person. It's just like when people, I am a happily have a wonderful husband, happily married woman, right? People say I'm still in my honeymoon stage. Okay, pray for me. But I don't give marriage advice. That ain't my thing. That ain't my thing. I know my lane and I stay in it. I don't give marriage advice, right? I don't. And I took the ladies out to Atlanta to this restaurant. My Joyful Tribe ladies. I took them out to eat, and we're in Atlanta. And somebody asked a question I'm like, "Oh, that ain't my space." And I turned to one of my clients. I'm like, "Okay, that may be your space. Can you answer that?" You know, I don't touch that, right? But ask me how to make 100K and ask me how to make 300K and ask me what you need to get to $1,000,000. That's me all day. That's me all day. I know the space. I experienced it. I've been through it. I know the space. So you really have to figure out when I say niche down. Now, let me do a disclaimer. Let me do a disclaimer. If you haven't made $5,000 consistently yet, you don't have to niche down. Avoid what I just said. If you haven't made 5K consistently yet, and the reason why, because when you have not generated that revenue per month yet, you're still testing your messaging. Y'all, listen, I'm just gonna throw it out there. We're doing a training on how to get clear on your message. Your ideal client can find you and say yes to you. If it's free, let's be clear, it's free. If you want that training, just put message in the chat. It's next week. It's not even now. We're gonna start marketing next week. But the more I talk, I see that that's the issue. So when you are under like the 5K amount per month, and you're doing your marketing and you're doing your content and you're writing your content and putting it out there, and you wanted to grab people's attention, I really want and you're not hitting that 5K consistently yet, you don't really have to niche down, because you're still testing the water to see, do I like this? Do I want to talk about this? Do I want to talk about that? So your message is still under the same umbrella, but you're all over the place talking about different things. And that's okay, because you're still trying to figure out where's your strength. Like you're still trying to, y'all hear me say all the time, final expense is not my strength. That is not my strength. I don't want to deal with it. And it's not that I don't know it. I just enjoy dealing with IULs. I enjoy term life too, but I enjoy dealing with IUL just because I know how to create revenue from an IUL, and because I did it myself for my own business and my kids' businesses, my kids as well. So I enjoy that. So thank you, Sandra. So it's so important that you know what you're saying when you decide to niche down. So if you're still in the 5K mark or under, I would say it's not time for you to niche, because you're still trying to learn the industry, you're still trying to learn the cadence of how to market your business, still trying to learn the product. But once you hit past that 5K month, so you're heading into your 10K month consistently, now it is time to really figure out, okay, so because that means you got some clients under your belt. That means that you need to take a look. We're talking about 3 elements that give you unique advantage. You need to take a look at where all my clients are coming from. So if you're over the 5K, heading to your 10K month consistently, now you need to take a look and say, okay, where are all my clients coming from, and what type of product are they looking for? What type of products are they looking for? And how much of that same product am I keep selling? And the more you sell that product, that may be the niche that you need to focus on and specialize in that to give you that unique advantage. I know I said a whole bunch, so give me a yes in the chat so I can make sure you understand that. So if you're 5K and under per month, if you're making $5,000 or under, in my opinion, I don't believe you should niche down yet, because you're still trying to learn, and you're still trying to learn the market. You're still trying to learn the products and services. You're still trying to learn how it works. But once you hit over your 5K, right? We're talking about unique advantage. Now you have a unique advantage because you have some clients under your belt. And now you're going to take a look at all your clients and say, hey, where are these clients are coming from? And based on where they like most of my clients were buying IULs. There were F&G, Mutual of Omaha, but there were still IULs. So I said, oh, okay, well, maybe that's where I need to really specialize in. But I did that after my 5K months. Okay. I did that after my 5K months. Same thing even in my coaching program. In the beginning, I had all these different type of clients, but most of my clients and most of my successful clients came from the financial space. So I decided to niche down after my 5K, heading into my 10K, so that's when heading into my 15K, I decided to niche down and started focusing on only helping women in financial space and insurance space, that space, right? So that's specialty. You specialize, right? You wouldn't go to your OBGYN to get a heart surgery. No, you wouldn't, right? Those are two different specialists. So you but both of them can charge what they charge because they're specialized in it. And when we talk about having multiple streams of income, now you can, again, based on if you're independent or not, if you're not a captive agent, now you can start offering financial coaching, financial consulting, and all of that, because now you're specialized. And now that you've had a couple of clients under your belt, excuse me, so you're able to specialize. All right. The more you specialize in a problem that you solve, and the more clear you are, this gives you a competitive advantage, right? This gives you a competitive advantage. All right. So that's, thank you, Kathy. How you doing, Kathy? You guys are daunting number 2, but I wanted to show you the importance of specializing when you are hitting that 5K mark. So you may set yourself up. My internet is tripping right now. Come on, internet. Okay. So I want you to really focus on today. Okay, there it's back. Oh, got it. Come on now, internet. So we want you to be able to specialize. Okay, so that was number 2. So number 1 was getting resourceful, right? Getting resourceful, because you got to be consistent. You got to get yourself out there, right? But how can you do it without? And I don't mean like being cheap. I mean, how can you do it without really breaking the bank, but get yourself out there? Because you have to be able to pay for something so you can get your time back. Number 2, your ability to niche down. And number 3, my favorite one, number 3, is when it comes to your business, simplifying the process, simplifying how you solve the problem for your existing clients. Right? Here's the beauty about niching down. Because you niche down, because you're really focused on a one particular product, whether you're in insurance space, if you're in let's say you're a tax professional, you may focus on small business owners, only doing taxes for small business owners. And I would highly recommend that. Let me give you some gems for my tax people, because when you focus on small business owners, that small business owner, myself, have to pay 2 different taxes, right? Pay a personal, you got to file your personal tax, and you got to file your business tax. That's 2 money for the price of one person, right? Trust me, my CPA, we got a love-hate relationship going on over here. So just that alone is a specialty. Like you're only specializing in doing taxes for small business owners, right? Or I'm only specializing in business credit, or I'm only specializing in personal credit, or whatever it may be for you, but you're specialized in that area. People will reach out to you more when you specialize too. That's another thing. If you're in real estate, I'm telling you, I better get these darn tickets. If you're in real estate, you may be where you're saying, I only want first-time home buyers, or I only want investors. That's specializing. Hey, you said first-time grabbing here, y'all. We're talking about identify the 3 elements that gives you a unique advantage as a financial professional. We're talking about the 3 elements that will give you that unique advantage. So being resourceful, specialize in a niche that you know inside and out. And the last one, simplify. What do I mean by that? What do I mean by that, Kathy? What do I mean by that, Shalonda? What do I mean by that, Letitia? What I mean by that is when you get a client, How do you get the results? Do they just call for a quote and you give them a quote and then you buy, or you just tell them a price of what it takes to do their taxes and you're gone? Like that's you got to create a framework for that. And if you're in my Joyful Tribe, they already know we big on this framework thing, right? You got to create a framework for that because, and I'm telling you, because there's gonna come a day when you're sick or you have to pass the baton or something to somebody to come to sit in your shoes, your downline or your agents. Maybe you're building a tax agency and you have other agents that you have to train. So you need to really be thinking about a framework of how you do your business so somebody can come behind you, as in your person that you're training, and teach them so you can be in Saint Tropez or in Jamaica on the beach. On the beach, right? When I'm not here or I'm flying or I'm speaking somewhere, I always have a 7-figure, 6-figure speaker come into my Joyful Tribe and pour into them. And so they're speaking on my behalf. So it's so important that you learn how to simplify. Oh my gosh, y'all. And all of these things I'm telling you, we'll go deeper into at the conference. Okay. So because 1 hour is just never good enough for me to go all deeper. So, but you learn how to simplify, like how do you do your quotes, like how. So whenever someone called me, and there's certain times I work and sometimes I don't, so I would send it to one of my downlines, but my downlines follow the same methodical process of sales conversation, of mission-based conversation, right? My company is all based on a mission, not a commission. So mission-based, making sure the client understands, making sure that we're clear, making sure we're helping them to the highest level. So there's a framework that we use to be able to get to the results of what our clients desire. So you're like, Sherry, I don't need a framework. I'm still trying to practice how to get to them. You're using a framework. You just don't realize it's a framework. From the time that person raises your hand that says, hey, Kathy, I want to work with you. Hey, Letitia, I want to work with you. Hey, Renee, I want to work with you. And then you call them on the phone and see what the problem is and see how you can help them. That's a framework. You're just not documenting it. And because you're not documenting it, because your goal is to document the steps. And when you document the step, your goal now is how do I simplify the steps to get the client's results and make them still get that high customer service, right? Because 5-star clients like great customer service, literally. So how do I document the steps? Because, like I said, I remember I had surgery and I had to have somebody fill my seat for my Joyful Tribe. They got to know what I do, how I do it, and so on. I was on a plane. So there are days where I'm absent from coaching, but they're my I call it my business bestie. They come in and they know what I like, how I like, here in my work, here, so when you're absent from work, or if you want to go on vacation, how are you can stepping in? I know you're saying this, I'm Sherry, I'm a solopreneur, I don't even think about that right now. Baby, if your 5-year self is to be selling life insurance by yourself for the rest of your life, how is that going to happen? Like, how you got to really be understanding. I'm not talking about you have to have downlines. I'm talking about learning the process of how you get your quotes, or learning the process of what you say in marketing to get that person to say yes to you, knowing the data. How many clients do you need to talk to in order to get to that 10K amount a month that you need? All of that is data. All of that you can figure out all of that. And you're doing it, but you're not documenting it. So it's important that you learn how to simplify your business model, simplify it and what problem you solve. You know what problem you solve when you're niching now. Let me give you an example. One of our new person that just came on the Joyful Tribe, the first step is to figure out what problem you solve and who you solve it for and the framework you use to solve it. Those are the 3 ways that we help our clients. That's the first step in Joyful Tribe. Because if you don't know those 3, then the other steps are not going to make sense. And within a day, within 1 minute, all our ladies got around to help one of our clients solve. She knew who she solved the problem for. They took what she was already doing on the side, and then they added to her financial business. Y'all, it was so powerful. They took what she was doing on the side And Christina, I think you just pop in here. You can go inside the group. It's in there. It's amazing. So every time we got on the call, she was always at her religious event. I don't want to talk too much about what goes on there. You got to be Joyful Tribe and all of this. But and then so we took what she do at her religious event, and then we move it into an insurance. I'm sorry, into a financial business. So she didn't have to feel like I got one business over here and I got another business over here. We incorporated her business that she was already doing anyway. And we said, okay, this is a problem you solve. And you don't have two clients. We have one client because the client has to be this and it has to be this. And it was just so amazing that we all were able to come together. We have something called Love Seat. And whenever someone has a problem, they're not just using my brain to solve the problem, using everyone inside the Joyful Tribe to solve the problem. And we're like, wow, like the light bulb went off, like, this is what you do. This is a problem you solve. These are the people you solve it for. And now you need to figure out the framework of how you solve that problem. It was so powerful because had she not come in the Joyful Tribe, she would have been spinning her wheels trying to figure out that on her own. That's the power of investing in yourself for a transformation. So now all she had to do is simplify the process. So she niched down to know who exactly to say yes to and who exactly to say no to, following with the elements I just showed you. And then after that, now her messaging is clear. Her marketing is clear. I think she got 2 clients from TikTok. What? Yes, TikTok. You can sell life insurance on TikTok? Heck yeah. What? Yes, you can. Baby. Baby. You got to stop playing with me and get these tickets. Anyway, so going back to what I said. Y'all be getting me off all of track. But that's why knowing these, being resourceful, niching down, and simplifying your business model to where if you're out one day, you can say, hey, can you do this for me? Or hey, can you cover this for me? So, and they can go back and use the same framework. Now, I already hear y'all in my ear, Sherry, I'm not at my 5K yet, so I don't need to be here. Yes, trust me. Yes, you do. Because you're already doing it. You're just not documenting it. You're already doing it. You're just not documenting it. All right. Okay. All right. So let me ask you a question. Number 1, number 2, number 3. Write in the chat for me right now before I hop off. Write in the chat for me right now. Which one do you think you are good at? Very good at. Is it getting resourceful, right? Being able, number 1, getting resourceful, being able to get more resource and decrease your overhead costs, or whatever you may need done, you know how to be resourceful to get it done? Or is it number 2, your ability to niche down to specialize in a particular area, or showing your it factor ability, because that may also be niche down as well. Showing your it factor ability. So you're niching down in a particular space, like this product, I'm a bomb.com at this product. That's number 2. And number 3, do you already have a framework that works so well for you that keeps getting you the results of the clients that you want? So give me a number 1 if you're resourceful. Give me a number 2 if your ability to niche down is super awesome. And then give me a number 3 if you already have a framework. And thank you, Christina. I love the niche part. And give me number 3 if you're simplifying the process. Thank you, Raina says she's number 1. She's yes, I think you are. You are definitely resourceful. Yes, Raina. You are very, very resourceful. I love that about you. You are super, super resourceful. Sandra said number 2. Sandra, what is your niche? Can you tell us what's your niche? What is your niche in? What do you think that niche is? Let us know. Listen. Kathy said niche. Yeah, put y'all niches in the chat. Now, I'm going to flip the switch a little bit. Tell me if that was your strength, tell me what you're still challenged with. Is it being more resourceful, which is number 1, or is it niching down, or is it figuring out your framework, which is number 3, right? Figure out the messaging, figure out how do I attract my clients. And I need this information because I'm creating my masterclass, and I want to make sure that I'm teaching towards, so I can simplify the masterclass to what you need help with. So is it number one, getting resourceful? Now, this time around, I need you to tell me what your challenge is. Number one, getting resourceful. Number two, your ability to niche down, like you may say, I'm not there yet. Or number three, I need to figure out my messaging, my framework to attract my clients. Oh, I have a lot of them. Number three. Okay. I have another number three. Sandra said, talking to the customer and making them feel comfortable, like I know they care. Yes, that's awesome. That's some powerful stuff, Queen. That's some powerful stuff. And Deidre, thank you for subscribing. Thank you. I appreciate it, Queen. It just came to my phone. I appreciate the love. Kathy said, figuring out my framework. Figuring out my framework and my messaging. Yes. Okay. All right. Figuring out your framework and your messaging is what you need help. Everyone has number three. Y'all, okay. Most of y'all have number three for the help that you need, which is perfect. Because I have a masterclass that's coming up in 2 weeks. That's all about communication and creating message, whether you're online, offline, social media, whatever it may be, but how you talk to the person to create that sales conversation and how you master that message. So put message in the chat. This is a free masterclass, but it's not going to be here. It's going to be on Zoom. So you have to be able to sign up for it. The masterclass is free. So it's not going to be inside our Facebook group, but I need these questions. I had to ask you these questions so I can create content to speak, so you can learn how to speak to your ideal client naturally and authentically. All right. What question do you have for me before I hop off? What question do you have? We just wrapped up identifying the 3 elements and gives you a unique advantage. Number one, thank you, Kathy. She said message. Awesome. Make sure that you get the link for that. You have to, she said, what happened if you reach, let me see. All right. So this question is from Sandra. She said, what happened if you reach your quota and go over for the month, but you're still new and learning, growing fast and not knowing a lot what I'm doing? Okay, will you reach your quota for the month? Okay, you may not, I don't know if you want over. Okay. I have some questions. But I don't know if you want to share or you can DM me on this one. But what was your quota for the month? If you don't want to put in here, and if that's private, go ahead and put in my DM. She said, but you're still new and you're learning, growing. And let me tell you something. This is such a great question. Let me tell y'all why this is such a great question. You may come in the industry and your upline, let's say your upline is holding your hands in the beginning. And you just got in the industry and you had a good month. You had such a good month. So in your mind, you believe that this is how your months are going to be for all the time, right? And the money train playing tricks on you, right? So then the next few months, then your upline or whoever is helping you back off, and you don't have the same results, and you're like, oh my God, what do I do? And you start panicking, right? So my first thing would be is, she said, listen, last week I made 10K in a week, and that week, and I just started 4 weeks ago. Okay, all right. So now, perfect. This is just, so you just describe what I just said. Literally just describe what I just said. Okay. You just literally just decide what I said. Because success is about rinse and repeat. Now, and that's what messes people up, because we literally say, oh, we make 10K. The question is, can you make 10K 3-4 times, right? Because 10K is good in 1 month, but can you do it 2 months? Can you do it? Because if you do it 1 month, you can do it again. Let's be clear, Sandra. I believe in you. I believe you can. And kudos to you. Let's give you credit. Let's go ahead and show Sandra some love to be making 10K her first few weeks inside of the insurance space, or months inside the insurance space. Let's show her some love in the chat for that. In 1 week in the chat. So, but success leaves clues. So what I mean by that is you have to have a tribe that is buying to your message that you can consistently sell to. So what happened is, when we get in this insurance space, we're constantly trying to buy leads and chase people, and people are not convinced with our brand. They don't trust us yet. So we're constantly having to chase to get the clients. So what I tell my tribe, and I'm telling you, is your whole goal when you get in this space is to be able to build your email list. Is to be able to constantly focus on building your email list when you first get in, because building your email list also build your book of business, right? It also build your book of business. So yes, while building your email list, and go back to the video where I show you about building your email list and make money at the same time. Go back to that, because the answer is what that you're asking me is in that. But you have to be able to understand that people want to skip the go because of that, because the illusion that oh my God, I had a great month. And y'all know finances up and down, right? 1 month is up, 1 month is down, 1 month. So now if you want predictable revenue, you have to build your email list. You have to build your email list. You have to build your email list. And when you build your email list, and you build your email list through knowing the right message to say to your audience to get them to come on your email list. Y'all better put message in the chat. I'm telling you. So it's a double fold, right? So it's a double fold. So going back to what she's saying, I want to make sure that I'm answering her question before we wrap up. Growing too fast and not knowing what to do. Okay. There's no such thing as growing too fast, in my opinion. I really think that it's having the maturity to understand that even though I'm doing this doesn't mean that I don't need to grow my email list. Because if I grow my email list, that means I have an email of people that is interested in what I have to sell. They may not buy today. They may not buy tomorrow. They may not buy next week. But these are the people, because people tell me all the time, Sharon, I need to get in front of more people. Are you selling to the people that you already got in front of? No. So if I give you more people, how you gonna sell in front of them? Right? So that was what I would tell you. I would tell you, focus on building your email list, creating content during master classes, different things that create demand for your service. Of course, you're just getting in, so I wouldn't say know your product, because what you need is data to say, all right, I made 10K this month, I made 10K next month, and I made, let's say, 15K the following month. This is how much I'm putting you up there into the sky, girl. This is how much I believe in you. Then you're going to say, how did I do it last month? And how do I do it this month? And whatever those things are, whatever those 3 things are, even if you do 7 different things, you only follow 3, right? You only follow 3 things based on your time, schedule, and capacity. So I just want to share that with you, because you get the illusion that this is it, and nobody's telling you, no. Build your email list. This is so great. I'm super proud of you that this is happening for you. Let me say that. Another thing too is the reason why you're still learning and growing so fast. You need a mentor, right? You need a mentor. You need someone that you can bounce ideas off to say, what system do I use, right? Not the insurance system, your own system. Because if you leave that company, can you take that system with you, right? What system do I use? What CRM you're talking about building your email list. What CRM? What is the messaging that I put out there? So that's so important that you have somebody that you can bounce these ideas. And this person is not going to be for free. Let's be clear. Okay. Especially if you're trying to get money to make money, right? Makes sense. So that's the first thing, is build your email list. And then you also need a mentor that is business savvy. You can be an insurance agent. That don't mean you know business. Business is totally, completely different. Business is totally different. Trust me. You need people who are already where you want to be, and then you literally pour into them, and then they pour into you. That's the answer that I have. She said, true. That's the answer. Because I got fooled. I thought when I had a life insurance business, I had a business. No, but business is LLC. Business is marketing. Business is paying taxes. Business is hiring people. Business is paying your staff. That's business, right? A 1099 is not a business, right? It's a business, but you understand what I mean. Like, it's not, the foundation is not set up like we wanted to set up. So it's so important to operate like an inner CEO. You see that? Operate like an inner CEO. All right. I hope I answered your question, Sandra. I hope I answered that question for you. Listen, if you haven't got your ticket, Unleash Your Inner CEO, I don't know why. In 2 weeks, we're having a free master class for teaching you how to master your message. If you're interested in that, but just go ahead and put message in the chat. She said, yes, I did. Thank you. Go ahead and put message in the chat, and we'll make sure that you get the link. We're doing a sign up right now for the master class. And I love y'all. Talk to you later. It's your girl, Sherry Summer Bell. Grab your tickets. Time is running out.